Happy Spiritual Sunday and welcome back. Hope you had an amazing week. Hope that you've been growing and elevating your consciousness and just energetically being an awakening, an example, a beacon of light to all the people around you. You know, there's that saying of 6 degrees of separation, which as I understand it means that, you know, like this person knows this person, knows this person, knows this person, 6 degrees of that, and we can touch all 8.5 billion people on the planet. So imagine now if we just are exuding greater kindness and compassion and care and desire for love and unity and peace among people. Imagine the impact we have. Even if 6 degrees of separation only reaches 1 billion people. Imagine today, in the next hour or 2 or 3, 1 billion people on the planet acting with just greater peace and care, forgiveness and tolerance and compassion, kindness. And then those people that they've touched, 6 degrees, is another billion. And those touch another 6 degrees billion. I mean, this is the way energy works anyway, isn't it? Something happens in some part of the world among a small group of people, and not only through people energetically unfortunately shining their energy of negativity, hurt, anger, resentment, hatred, etc. We've seen in our time how that does reach billions of people just energetically. People hear about it, and then this one picks up the same kind of hatred, animosity, judgment, jealousy, and then they emanate that, and then there's 6 degrees of separation, etc., and it spreads. It spreads like a virus. Well, what we're learning here in the Kabbalah Center and on Spiritual Sunday is, let's call it, even in a good way, how to spread the virus that will infect every human being on earth with love and care and kindness and compassion and generosity and humility and tolerance, patience. We can do it. If it works in the negativity, if it works on the negative side, why can't it work on the positive side? One of the most difficult things for people when they take Kabbalah 1 is to understand that if they just hold the thought and meditate and or visualize a beam of light going out of their heart and soul, that the light of the Creator that's implanted in their soul emanates out to whoever they were thinking of, wherever they were directing it. When it comes to the negative, emanating jealousy or anger or things like that, we don't even think about it. But we've all had the experience of being affected by it. You can feel people staring at you from behind you or on the side. You don't have to see them, you can feel their energy, because they may be looking at you in whatever way and you pick up the energy. Why is it so difficult to understand that the light of the Creator is the same, at least on the same level? Obviously we understand it's infinite times more powerful, but why not just be also that simple? Just think to emanate the light out of your soul. That conscious thought causes the light to emanate out from your soul. In fact, I think that's probably why Karen called her book Simple Light. So before we do our affirmation, let me just read what I opened up to today. So Karen says like this: most of us know we can't learn to fly an airplane by listening to lectures or reading through diagrams. It's the same with spirituality. We cannot become spiritual just by meditating or simply studying. Knowledge that is kept inside and not shared or acted upon will remain just that, knowledge. Spirituality is not what we learn, but the way we use what we learn in our daily life. And as for almost 40 years, this has been sort of fundamentally what I've learned in the center. And the purpose of the center is not just to give people, like she says, knowledge of the spiritual system or how things work in a metaphysical way, but the understanding of how things work and the support, encouragement, inspiration, guidance, how to live those rules of the universe, how to live into our full potential. And so this time we got it right. A few of you had noticed. So I'm using it because I just got it in its fullest form. So let's say our affirmation together. And remember, we hold the conscious thought. We're not just repeating an affirmation like a parrot. We're not just saying it like we've memorized it. We're just saying it unconsciously. We want each time we're saying this, even when you do it at home during the week, every time you do it, or every time you're scanning the Zohar, or using one of the tools, 72 names on a Bakoach, or what have you, consciously to beam light out of your heart and soul through your family and friends and to every human being on earth. So, let's say it together. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. And thank you, Dre. Thank you for that. Okay. All right. So we want to understand not only what is the matrix, where it came from, but how can we decode? How can we make use of the matrix to have a better life and not be caught in the chaos of the matrix? So we start back with the understanding of how we got here and why we got here in the first place. So it starts within the endless world. The Creator created a container, which is our soul, one infinite container, vessel, whose nature is desire for the light. That's it. We were created as a vessel, a container, to crave the infinite light of the Creator, the infinite light of God, which is the source and the only source of eternal, lasting fulfillment, bliss, contentment, satisfaction. That's it. That vessel has no free will. And I know, the endless world is timeless. We're speaking about it relative to our ability to understand. So keep in mind that this is like instantaneous, but we're understanding from our point of view so we can grasp it, and as Karen taught us, to also live it. So the vessel itself has no free will. It is inherently and eternally a craving for the light of the Creator. Now, the next step is the Creator took its light, this infinite power of eternal bliss, fulfillment, and filled the vessel with it. The nature of the light itself also has, if you will, no free will. The light is just the emanation of eternal bliss. But now that the vessel is filled with the light, Now the vessel has the capability to either act like the vessel, crave the light, meaning wanting to get light and fulfillment. At the same time, we also have the light in us, that its inherent nature is simply to illuminate, to shine out, to give infinite bliss, eternal fulfillment. That now is the free will. We have the free will to decide, to make the choice. Are we going to act like the light, or we're going to act like the vessel? Are we going to choose to shine our light out from us, or we choose to try and get a sense of fulfillment, to get from the outside? Now, in order to experience, like to manifest the light, eternal bliss, we couldn't do it in the endless world. Think about it. If I gave you no free will to take something or to receive something from me, in other words, I sort of force you to hold your hands like this. Well, whatever I put in your hands, you're not going to experience really. You're not going to enjoy, because you had no free will. It's just there. It was just dropped in your hands. In order to really experience eternal bliss, we needed, in simplest terms, to imitate the Creator. The Creator that's the source of light. We want, in order to have the experience of true eternal bliss, we needed to imitate the Creator by sharing our light. So, and this is, for some, a difficult thing to accept, as we'll also talk about a little today, because we're not generally taught this. In order for us to use our free will, meaning to make a choice, a conscious decision between acting like the vessel or acting like the light, you and I, as that one vessel, that one soul, so it was a collective, a truly collective decision in the endless. We chose to create a matrix, a temporary environment matrix, where we could exercise free choice, where we could make a decision between acting like the vessel or acting like the light. So we created this matrix that is the 1%, we call it, the physical materiality of this world. We created a physical universe. The endless world is not physical. We created the matrix of the physical world that, in essence, it's temporary, but it's all-inclusive. It includes all the physical material things, the physical earth, inanimate, vegetable, animal, human, all the levels of existence. We created the matrix that includes the stars and the planets, and, if you will, all the laws of science. In that physical aspect, the 1% we call it, is also included the original artificial intelligent program called the opponent, the adversary, or some of you have heard the term the Satan, adversary. And we put it in our brain. There's also, in this matrix of this physical world, there's what we call the 99%, which is the realm of pure light, the realm that's connected to the endless, which is truth, clarity, illumination, total bliss, guidance, support, etc. Our mission in this world, our objective, is simply to shine our light 24/7, imitating the Creator. Find a vessel, a container for light, meaning an empty spot, and shine light on it. So in the matrix of this universe, what does that empty vessel look like? Anything that we would call darkness, chaos, disorder, disarray, that's it. That's an empty vessel, meaning what? It's empty of light. Now, yes, in the big picture, there's no such thing. The light is infinite. So there is no space. There is no place where there's no light. But from our point of view, in the matrix of this world that we created, yes, we use the power of the light, which is creativity, the creative force, to create a temporary space, place called the physical universe. But there's no place that there's no light. It's just from our limited five senses. This is why in Kabbalah 1 we often talk about optical illusion. What's an optical illusion? It's where our eyes are seeing something but not seeing the whole picture. Seeing an illusion, something that's not there or that is there, we don't see, what have you. So in the same way, the optical illusion fundamentally in this world is spaces, places where there's no light. Even some people look at other people and say, oh, they have no light in them. How do we know? Or how could we perceive that? Well, they're acting with jealousy, ego, fear, greed, insecurity, anger, hurt, resentment, etc. You and me also have what we could call empty space. How do you know that? Ask yourself, do you feel eternally blissed out? So to the extent that you and I don't feel eternally blissed out, to that extent, we have a space, we have a vessel to reveal light. We have, from our point of view, an empty place. It's empty of revealed light. That's it. So here we are now. Sadly, from the story, and if you're new to this, the Kabbalists do believe Adam and Eve exist, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 5 books of Moses is real. Those people did exist, they did what they did, but it's written in a coded way that the ultimate understanding, decoding that 5 books of Moses is the Zohar. And what it allows us to do, it's the deepest decodification that not only explains more of the details of the stories of the Bible, but most importantly, even like we read this morning, how do we live in 2025 the laws of the universe that these people were using to escape, to overcome fear, anger, hatred, attempted violence, thievery, all this, the negativity that has been going on for thousands of years. So from the time of you and me in the Garden of Eden, within the beings called Adam and Eve, from the moment that we chose to listen to the opponent, that original AI program that in the biblical terms is called a snake, the Nachash, when we listened to it and gave into its temptation to eat, as it's called, from the tree of knowledge, good and bad, chaos, disconnecting the physical material world from the infinite light, again from our point of view, we created a space, darkness, that allows pain, suffering, and death. And because as we did that, and we kept splitting from the one being of Genesis 1 into Adam and Eve, and then from then on and on and on, more and more to we're almost 8.5 billion people on the planet. As we kept splitting, unfortunately, we kept giving more power to the AI program. In other words, by acting in a reactive way, we gave more of our power away. And so, for thousands of years, think about it. Millions and hundreds of millions, and then billion and billions of people have been giving some parts of their soul's light away, meaning losing, if you will, to the AI program. The AI program of the opponent, the adversary, The challenger was never, ever meant to defeat us. It was there as an opponent. Like in a sports game, the opponent is there to challenge us, to draw more of our talent, skill, and athletic ability, in this case, from within, in order to beat the opponent. So in the same way, the opponent was programmed by us just to put up a temptation, to give in to the physical, illusionary, limited falsehoods of the physical world, of the five senses, so that we could overcome and defeat the opponent by acting like the light, if you will, using our sixth sense, the voice of the Creator inside of us, the voice of our soul, which is pure light, love, care, compassion, etc., to defeat whatever the challenge of the opponent was in that moment. But unfortunately, we've given for so many years, in so many ways, in so many generations, we've given away our energy, we've lost to the opponent, that we've become enmeshed in the 1%, in, as the Rav and Karen always called it, the mud of this 1% physical world, that we've become to just accept and believe the lie and the limitations of this world, right? The old saying was, the only thing that's lasting, death and taxes. Okay, so I don't know about taxes, but death, people believe that every person has to die at some point. And then they look back and they say, well, look at history. And even when we read stories where the Zohar will say Moses didn't die, Jacob didn't die, and say things like that, people go, come on, it's a Bible, it's a fable. It's like, whatever, one of these fairy tales out there. And the Zohar, in its written form, 2,000 years ago, tells us like this. If you want to look it up, you're welcome to if you have a Zohar. This is my Zohar, the Rav and Karen first printing. And it says in the section called Vayeshev, verse 8, come and behold, this is why what's called here the evil inclination, the opponent, the challenger, the adversary in our head, this is why the opponent comes early to join with man from the day he is born, so that man will believe in it. In other words, like people say, when unfortunately a child is brought up only hearing they're stupid, they'll never make it, they're stupid, they'll never make it, everybody's better than them, this and this, at some point they tend to just accept that lie. And then they grow up thinking they're stupid, they'll never make it, and then they look at their life and they say, well, look, never made it. So that man will believe in it. Later, when the good inclination, when the light starts to wake up in us, at Kabbalistically teaching, 12 for a girl, 13 for a boy, at that time that it wakes up, man will find it difficult to believe in it. In other words, a person will have heard and believed and been told the limitations, the lies, it's a dog-eat-dog world, everybody's out to get you, whatever, like that. When the voice of our soul becomes loud enough to really give us free will, it'll sound ridiculous. Oh no, people are bad. And they'll be able to point to, in the physical world, all the apparent evidence for that. Well, they know somebody who was cheated, they know somebody who was, attacked, etc., etc. Now, we don't know all 8.5 billion people, but they will take the temptation and the encouragement from the opponent to just look at all the bad examples. And then it says, when we'll believe, when we'll start to hear the voice of our soul and maybe want to believe what it's telling us, to be kind and compassionate, etc., it says, its words will seem burdensome. So we're trained by the opponent to believe lies and limitations. And even if we like you and I, we're spiritual people, and we want to accept and work with the light of the Creator and all the goodness, and we want to make the planet a better place, bring peace to the world. But because we've been for so many generations and thousands of years taunted and tempted and immersed ourselves in the mud and the voice of the opponent, that when it says, yes, forgive that nasty person, even you and I, the spiritual people, will generally feel, oh, that's so hard to forgive them, so hard to be kinder, so hard to be compassionate, so hard to be generous, so hard to be forgiving, humble, etc. And that's the battle. That's where this matrix has truly given us free will, but unfortunately, it's become, yes, a lot of effort. So what you and I want to understand is, what does the matrix look like? Let's get some examples. So I wrote down, people say it's their fault. Something happened to them, it's the other person's fault. They blame somebody else, they did it to me, or you say, that could never happen, right? I think I've told you before, in 1898, the head of the United States Patent Office stood in front of Congress and said they should close the patent office because he believed that everything that could have been invented had been invented. So imagine where we'd be if we had stopped inventing things in 1898. But this was this person's limitation by the influence of the matrix. Or there's the other type of things, chaos and confusion. Life is unfair. Those good people didn't deserve that bad thing. Why do bad things always happen to me? Why do bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people? How come when it's going so well and suddenly it all falls apart? Look, we just have in California. The Rav and Karen used to tell us, don't ever take for granted the blessings in your life, because heaven forbid, a billion times, in a second it could all change. A person have a car accident. In this case, fires, floods, hurricanes, earthquakes, pandemics, things like that. Overnight, instant. Person goes from light to darkness, to harmony, order, contentment, into chaos, disillusion, hurt, all the negativity. Hatred, fears, anxiety, guilt, shame, insecurity, greed, lack, ego. That's all part of the matrix, the negative illusionary influence of the five-sense material world aspect of the matrix. But you and I are learning in Kabbalah, and hopefully a little more powerfully today, that it's all a scam. That side of the matrix, the 1% physical part, is a con to make us not see reality, to not see that the light is everywhere and infinite bliss is available every second of the day. It wants us to believe the opposite, that chaos is eternal and negativity and will never stop the hatred, the divisiveness, the friction between whatever group it is, politically, economically, socially, religiously, culturally, what have you. And in fact, the Rav and Karen used to teach us that aspect, the 1% aspect of this matrix, is essentially eternal darkness. And all the facets of that darkness, like we said, hatred, anger, jealousy, greed, insecurity, etc. That 1% is, let's say, eternal as long as the physical world will exist. Yes, that's another class. Meanwhile, let's be practical. It's existing now. It's in chaos. We want order and harmony, and it's getting more intense. So you and I and the rest of the students of the center need to speed up the process to take away the chaos of the 1%. That is the inherent nature of the 1%. The chaos, ups, downs, good, bad, healthy, sick, rich, poor. Like we said, that in an instant a person go from very wealthy to poor. They can go even the other way, from poor to wealthy. It's also part of the illusion, because as we often speak about, it doesn't mean because a person has money that they have health, they have good relationships, and they have peace of mind. Sure, they can have a lot of nice physical things, but it doesn't guarantee them peace, harmony, health, good relationships, or even long-lasting wealth. The only freedom from the illusion of the 1% of the matrix and the darkness of the chaos is one thing: light. Light is the only antidote and transformative power that will turn darkness to light, chaos to order, curses to blessing. We always say in the physical world, you walk into a dark space, you turn on any form of light, the darkness is dissipated to the extent of the power of that light source. A little birthday candle, a little bit of transformation of darkness to light, illumination in the place of darkness. Whatever, a 100-watt light bulb can have more. A stadium spotlight can have more. When we have a critical mass of light bulbs, imagine if we wanted to literally on a physical level illuminate the entire world, we know how to do it. It just takes enough light bulbs, if you will, enough powerful light bulbs to be spread around the world, and it will take away all the darkness. So the same thing happens on a spiritual level. As we said with Karen's book, yes, it's called Simple Light. Why? Because what most people will consider the most complicated and deep study of Kabbalah, which is called the 10 luminous emanations, which we spoke about, I believe, last week or the week before on the 10 Sfirot, 10 luminous emanations. The first line, in other words, there are 18 volumes of writings called the 10 luminous emanations, which literally is beyond what we would consider in the physical world, quantum physics and things like that, so complicated, and all the details of how the world works and the matter and E equals MC squared and all those things. The 10 luminous emanations, which was written 500 years ago and decoded for modern times by Rav Ashlag, the founder of the center, about 80 years ago, has all those details and beyond. What science has yet to discover is there. So with all that complicated wisdom and understanding, the very first line, the pure, simple light. Pure, simple light. So the light itself is simple. What it has created, what we've created even in the physical illusionary world with the power of the light, looks very complicated. Computers, spacecraft, even cars, electric machines, what have you. We've created things that look complicated. Okay. In America at least, and probably around the world, the income tax code, I don't know what it is now, but it used to be like volumes and volumes and volumes of details. Even when we talked about tithing, the universe is, I don't like to use income tax, it has a bad connotation, but like we spoke about, the universe's technology of how to acknowledge our appreciation and gratitude for the good things in our life is simply give 10%. So like we talked about, a person makes $10,000. It's easy to say, what does the universe want us to give back? 10%. Imagine if the IRS code was just like that. Here's your income, 10%, that's what you pay to the government. We'd probably have more money in just direct payment than we have now with all the complicated bits and pieces, besides the fact we could cut down so much of the work that's needed to figure it out and to go collect and do and this and that, even that. So the government would have much more money, just simple. So here you have the simple light, pure simple light. The light shines, it removes darkness, gives us clarity and guidance. Now, go back to the physical. I don't know, probably some of you, what I'm about to say, some of you probably know a little bit more of the details, but I don't know how here in Florida, let's say, the Florida Light and Power, FPL, or around whatever, California, I grew up, the Edison Company, I don't know how they generate electricity. I don't know, other than what they call transformers, I know that name, transformers that transmit the electricity from the generating plant into the cities and into the house. I don't know how they work. I know the name. I understand the idea. They're passing it down. I don't know how the electrician wires from whatever, the power box on the street, to the power in my house, to the wires through the walls. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they hook up the wall switch to the electric plugs and or the light fixtures. I don't know how LED, fluorescent, even way back the incandescent lights, I don't know how they work. I don't know or understand how when you turn the light on, the darkness goes away. And I've shared with you and remind you, even scientists cannot tell us how light takes away darkness. We all know that it does. We have the experience, so we know that it does. But let's be practical. And for me, that's the most important thing. Get to the bottom line and be practical. I don't know all the ways and means like I just shared with you, but I do know when I'm in the dark and I want illumination, I want to be able to see, to guide myself through a room, a house, an area, whatever it may be. Even on the street, we turn headlights on to illuminate the road so we can navigate our cars safely and see bumps in the road, see obstacles in the road, etc. So we want the light to shine. So fundamental and most practical, I don't know all the rest of it, but I do know how to flip the switch on my wall that will let the electricity go to the light fixture, that the electricity at the light fixture will activate the incandescent, LED, whatever else is out there, the light bulb to emanate its light, and I know the light will take away the darkness. So I only need to know how to flip the switch. I don't need to understand all the rest of the system. Do you understand that? A baby, you could take a baby, whatever, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, and they can push the light switch on the wall without understanding anything. The light will go on and the darkness will go away. So how come when it comes to the light of the Creator, even you and me who believe in the light, who've had experience with the light, even miracles with the light, why still in many cases is it so difficult for us to hold the consciousness that the light of God will take away the darkness? All we have to do, as we know, just emanate the light. Just have that conscious thought, a beam of light, of love, kindness, and compassion out through my family and friends to all the world. Therefore, from my point of view, less chaos, more clarity, more guidance, more peace, more harmony, more fulfillment. Why do we think in the spiritual, from the spiritual realm, that we have to figure out how the light is going to make everything happen. No, we have to be simple. The universe is a binary system. We have only the choice of acting like the light or acting like the vessel. Thereby, acting like the light, shining more light than we did a moment ago, will make more light take away more darkness, will be guided more clearly, we'll be able to hear the voice of our soul more powerfully over the voice of the opponent in our head. The darkness will go away, the blessings will show up. Person acts like the vessel, trying to get from the outside, reactive we call it, the opposite of why we're here, so they'll get the opposite of harmony, order, blessings, guidance, and clarity. Oh yeah, sure, the voice of the opponent will keep talking to them. Yes, keep being angry. Because you see, when you're angry, the other person backs away. And you see, the other time you were angry, the also person backed away. And yes, even when somebody tried to argue with you, if you got angry enough and screamed enough, they backed away. So the opponent will give us, from the matrix of illusion, what seems like validation to maintain reactive behavior. Because as we teach from Kabbalah 1 forward, reactive behavior, instant gratification, unfortunately, it's only short-term fulfillment. The good will go away. Think of your bad habit. Every bad habit that you do, the first thing you get is instant gratification. And then after that will come whatever the darkness is. Guilt. Why did I go off my diet? Why did I say that to them? Why did I let my impatience, say those words? Whatever. Short-term fulfillment. So our spiritual work is to be able to see through the matrix. See through the illusion, not give in to the illusion. So like we affirm, greater love, kindness, compassion, humility, tolerance, generosity, trust in the light, care, judge for good. The more light we emanate, the more darkness we take away. And as I was sharing with somebody these last few days, because we're reading in the 5 books of Moses, we read this last week, the section where Moses at the burning bush hears the voice of the Creator. And in different ways, even when I was before the center, there were different spiritual teachings that used it in various ways. I am that I am. Moses says to this voice, God, so what name? What do I go tell the Israelites? If I'm going to go to them and say, look, the Creator tells me I'm going to be the leader, take you out of the slavery and bondage of Egypt, which is a whole nother story. He says, what name should I tell them? And it's translated in English, I am that I am. So there's a lot of things, even when I was before the center, the power of the I am and whatever. But the Kabbalists, when you go back to the original term, Ehyeh asher ehyeh, I am what I will be, which the Kabbalists teach us, meaning, like we learn in simple ways, the universe is a reflection. Whatever we put out, cause and effect, will come back. You put out love, kindness, and compassion, the universe will reflect back love, kindness, and compassion. That's the light force, Eke, will be what we do with it. We're the ones who decide. So when a person puts out negative things, they get negative things back. Yes, not always immediately, not always clear to see, because we are in this matrix of illusion. So it could take some time, and over that time, the opponent in their head makes them forget what they did, and all they see now is what's being done to them. When they can open their spiritual eyes of their heart, it's called, to see more clearly, they'll be able to see the exact cause and effect. 6 months ago, they yelled and screamed at somebody nastily, impatiently, and 6 months later, they were screamed at nastily, impatiently. They'll be able to see the cause and effect. In another way, the Zohar puts it, the way a person wants to be led, the universe will lead them, which is another way of saying the same thing. So if a person looking for instant gratification, they're being taunted and they're just giving into their usual reactive behavior, act like the vessel, act like, try and get, I gotta get from people, I gotta get from things, I gotta get from the job, I gotta get from the world, like that. That's the way the universe will lead them. Keep showing them, because of the AI program of the opponent, will just keep showing them the same thing. Yeah, you screamed and yelled, they gave in to you. You screamed and yelled, they gave in to you. Whatever. You blamed them for things, you gave them a guilt trip. Oh, they backed away, they gave you what you wanted. Gave somebody else a guilt trip, they gave you what you wanted, etc. Whatever it is, the universe will show us. Ehyeh asher ehyeh. It will be what we make of it. So the biggest illusion, and this I'd like to conclude with, and I want it to be in your mind to engrave it. The biggest illusion of this matrix is that we are weak and powerless people, that we are limited human beings. Even those, I would guarantee you, and obviously it's very difficult to prove, even those people that we would look at in the matrix and think, but they have power, they have money, they have some kind of psychological strength, or whatever you want to call them. They look like they're okay. They don't look like they're weak. Yes, in the illusion, let's say people have a lot of money. Oh, you don't look at them as weak. Why? Because they can just buy everything that you might want to have. So you say, wow, this person could buy a big yacht and 3 cars, and they can have a big house all over the world, 2, 3, 4 houses, this and this. So we don't perceive that as weak. But as the Kabbalists teach us, the true meaning of strength or power is not that we have a lot of things that we can show on the outside with big muscles and, feats of strength or whatever. The true strength is what we're talking about, to be able to pause when we're triggered and act like the light instead of giving in to our reactivity. When a person can overcome their opponent, their desire to receive for oneself alone in the moment, that's strength. So we've come to believe, when you hear yourself think, forget even saying, thinking, this is overwhelming, this is too much. That is a sign, in that moment, you don't believe that you have the infinite power of the Creator inside you. We have to start opening our eyes. Look at the chaos in the world. We are at a tremendously pivotal point. And even if in the matrix, people only looking at the chaos, how did the chaos come about? Did the Creator, God, create the chaos? Absolutely not. Every action that every person has ever done throughout time has added another brick, another piece to the way the world looks today. The fighting, the hatred, the divisiveness, etc. We use the power of the Creator within us to create this world that looks so chaotic and so terminally divided. We created it. What the center has taught me, and I share with you, is first to accept, to allow your consciousness to realize on an individual level, when you look at your world, your consciousness has created that world. You look at the world, if you see good things, it's because in your mind there are good things. When you see chaos, it's because in your mind there's chaos. We have been, are, and will be the creators of the world, individually and collectively. So once we can accept that, Once we are willing to have the strength and the guts to say, yes, I created this chaos in my life. Again, it does not exempt other people for delivering the chaos to me. They have their own cause and effect. But from my point of view, it's there just to wake me up. Hello? What are you feeling? What's the trigger? Anger, jealousy, insecurity, fear, greed, hatred, animosity, whatever it is. It's your soul making the effort to show you where and how you're trapped in the matrix of illusion, not in the matrix of the 99%, the pure light of the Creator, to see through the physical illusion. Use your sixth sense, which is truly, the true sixth sense is the voice of the Creator inside of us. It's the light of the Creator inside of us. We've created our experience in life. We've created and perceived the world the way we see it and how we therefore experience it. Collectively, we have all created the aspects of good and bad in the world today. Unfortunately, because spiritually, time is running out, disappearing. Like people say, wow, the weeks go by like this. Time is disappearing, space is disappearing, so all of the good and the bad getting more concentrated. And so you and I are seeing more and more of all the bad stuff left in us. Guilt, shame, anger, animosity, impatience, insecurity, whatever it is, being concentrated. At the same time, the good stuff we've been doing, concentrated. So it's dark and light. We've created it. And as we accept that we are the creators individually and collectively in the world, then when we shift our consciousness, which is today, understanding this matrix in a new way, understanding our capabilities, and that we are pure and perfect beings of light. And we are creators, period. And we now change our consciousness with the tools. Most powerfully, the Zohar wakes up the awareness, the connection, and the use of the light of the Creator inside of us in a constructive, positive, proactive, loving, kind way. The Zohar on Abakoa, 72 names, as we change our consciousness using the tools. We can change the state of the world. We can create, because we are the creators of this world, of this matrix. We can make this matrix, this world, look and be a world of peace and love and unity for all mankind. With our merit, with our effort, may it be in our time and quickly. God bless. So I wanted to just briefly, before we do our meditation on one of the 72 names, let's see here, okay. I just want to thank you, those of you who have been supporting us. I know a lot of you give every week. But I also wanted to put in the minds of you and the rest of the people. So if you're connected, if you're signed up and registered at Kabbalah.com, or you get email from the center, the new program that we would like to bring into your heart and your soul and your mind is what's called Supporters of the Work. And it simply means to commit yourself with love and gratitude and appreciation and the desire to speed up the spread of the Zohar and this wisdom to bring peace to the world. It's to register for a recurring donation. And it could be whatever you want, whatever your heart tells you. And like I've told a number of people, and I told a group yesterday, start with what your heart tells you and give it with gratitude and love and appreciation. Some people over the years have said, oh, I don't know if I only give you this, or I've had even people come and give me a donation and they say, gee, I'm sorry, it's only this. And I always share with them, never be sorry. When you give to the center with love, gratitude, and appreciation, and that truly heartfelt desire and awareness that the center is looking out and impacting 8.5 billion people on the planet, whatever you give is empowering 6 degrees of separation. So whatever it is you can give and you give with love and light, will reach out to the next level, the next level, next level. So whatever you give, somebody else will give 10 times that. Somebody else will give 15 times that. The third and fourth and fifth level, somebody may give 1,000 times that or more. So whatever it is. And here I've put you can do it here on the Spiritual Sunday link. There's a part when you put your information in, you could put one time or recurring. Just put recurring, whatever it is. Because as I shared with this group, and a few people have been in the center for years, had never thought this way. Like we say, the matrix. We get caught up. Oh, I'm kind, I volunteer in the center, I do help, I give. What ideally we would like to achieve through this aspect, supporters of the work, recurring donations, is that the center individually and collectively, the teachers and the whatever, all the staff of the center, that we won't have to spend brain space on how do we pay our monthly bills. Some of you have had that experience. You know, you've had ups and downs in your finances, and there's sometimes you feel, oh my God, how am I going to pay the rent? I'm a little short here and there, whatever. You're spending time, effort, and brain space on that. When the center will have these recurring donations from around the world that automatically taking care of the basic monthly expenses of the center worldwide, then on a collective level, the center can use the brain space. How do we increase, how do we accelerate the spread of the Zohar in whatever form it may be to all the people on the planet until there's no more pain, suffering, and death? We don't have to spend the brain space. How are we going to pay the bills? That's the idea. So whatever it is that you're able to give, please, I encourage you. And as we've talked about tithing, whatever you give, it will grow in your life. So no matter what it is, give it with heart and soul. It will grow. Even like I told somebody recently, you know, when a farmer puts one seed, let's say an apple seed, an orange seed in the ground, that one seed, as it grows through the tree, can be whatever, dozens or hundreds of oranges at the end of the tree. So whatever you give, that's the whole point, as we spoke about with tithing. Tithing is to increase prosperity and abundance. Just give. Give and let it be recurring so that you know, number one, you are constantly on a monthly basis accessing and benefiting from the light of the international network that the center is around the world. And you're helping to speed up the process, because then we can go to the next level. How do we get a critical mass of Zohar? How do we teach another 200,000, 300,000, million people, billion people Kabbalah? And then we can, as Jeremiah says, remove the pain and suffering and death in a blink of an eye. So let's do our meditation. Those of you, most of you have been around for a while with us, so you understand the power of the 72 names of God, which is made up of 3 Hebrew letters, Aramaic letters, because we know the Aramaic letters are just the physical manifestations of the infinite light of God in different frequencies. So in this case, the Hey, Yud, Yud, Hey, Yud, Yud. So the shape, just let the shape be engraved in your mind's eye, because we know eyes are the window to the soul. Our soul is filled with the light of God. Some of it is hibernating, if you will, in potential, waiting to be activated, woken up, and expressed out into the world. So this combination, Hey, Yud, Yud, these unique frequencies put together is to help us awaken to a higher level our sixth sense, the conscious awareness, experience of the light that's within us on the next level. Hey, Yud, Yud. So just let the shapes be engraved in your mind's eye, the names, Hey, Yud, Yud. And then Sitting comfortably in your seat, feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap. Begin taking a few deep breaths, breathing the light of the Creator through the air. Take it in through the nose, hold the breath for a moment to let it flow from head to toe, and exhale through the mouth, letting go of the tension, letting go of whatever anxiety, stress, limitations, and blockages you've been holding up to this moment. Let the light of the breath of life take away the darkness, the illusion. Allow yourself to relax into the surrounding light that you are in. If you will, the embrace of the Creator. With each breath, being more aware of the light in and all around you. Feeling the warmth, the vibration of unconditional love of the light. Relaxing into the light, allowing yourself to be a more open, loving conduit of light. Drawing from above, letting it flow through you, and emanating from your heart and soul. With each inhale and exhale, seeing that pattern of light increasing. And together we will envision the Hey Yud Yud just above our head. Within this conduit, within this flow, this channel from above, through us, and out to the world. Hey Yud Yud, see it glowing with this brilliant white light of the Creator. Feel its vibration. And we let it slowly enter to the top of our head. Hey Yud Yud. Let it flow from head to toe, awakening more of the light that exists within us, awakening the clarity to hear the voice of our soul, the voice of the Creator more clearly, more powerfully, more impactfully. Hey Yud Yud. As the light of that sixth sense, the pure light within us is strengthened, the voice of our soul sounding louder, the light more intense. Experience the darkness dissipating. Feel more of that power, that strength of creation within you, awakening. Feel every spiritual and physical cell of your being activated on a higher level of light. That your whole being is radiating on a greater, more powerful level. The light, the pure, endless light of the Creator. the light of unconditional love and compassion and kindness, abundance, prosperity, all the unlimited blessings that the Creator has planted within us. Feel, know that they are getting stronger. Understand your ability to be able to manifest those blessings. And let's take the light force of the Hey Yud Yud that we've now sent through our body from head to toe, strengthening the voice of the Creator, our soul in our heads, the energy of unconditional love, and the removal of all chaos by the light of God through our heart. And let's together send a beam of this light, Hey Yud Yud, outwards from our heart and soul to all of our family and friends, directing it to their heart and soul, that it wakes up also a higher level of their sixth sense, their soul's energy, spreading from head to toe in them. And then we continue directing that light through them to anyone and everyone that we have any hurt, animosity, discord, friction, divisiveness with. Reach out to their heart and soul. Reach the light of Hey Yud Yud from you through family and friends to all those people you have any issue with, to intensify the light and the blessing and the transformation of darkness to light for you, and also simultaneously to wake up their experience, their awareness of the infinite light within them, that they come to realize they have also created, as all of us do. They have created whatever chaos and negativity they've seen and experienced and react to in their life, that they, as we, accepting more responsibility for our behaviors, and with the support of the light, Hey Yud Yud, overcoming the opponent, the temptations, the illusion of the matrix, to see through the illusion to the reality. We are all one. There is only one soul expressed in 8.5 billion bodies, that we all come to experience, have greater trust and certainty, cause and effect. What we send out into the world comes back to us in the same form. So we send out, and through them, to all the rest of the world, all humanity, greater love, compassion, kindness, tolerance, humility, forgiveness, generosity, gratitude. Intensify the focus, Hey Yud Yud, channeling from above through your head, intensify through all your being, out to everyone on earth with greater focus, care, desire for the end of chaos for all. Listen carefully to what the voice of your soul is telling you. At this moment, it is guiding you with inspiration, enlightenment, to see more clearly and appreciate more the blessings in your life, and also to see the behaviors, the thoughts, the actions that are blocking your blessings, that are limiting your blessings. And then intensify the light that goes out of you through all those blockages to all humanity, taking away the influence of chaos and illusion from all humanity, awakening the compassion, the responsibility for our own actions, our own world, and thereby the collective world. To have a stronger craving for the light, and therefore stronger actions of shining the light to the entire world, all people, with an open heart, an open mind, and unconditional love. And let's together in unity plant a tremendous seed today for the return of all of us living on heaven on earth, Garden of Eden, now in our lifetime. And take one more deep breath to anchor it into heart, soul, and mind. And slowly exhale. And open your eyes. Thank you for joining. Please share this with other people. It'll be on this Facebook page right after we sign off. Hopefully in the next few hours or the next couple days, it'll be on Instagram. It'll be on the YouTube channel, the Spiritual Sunday YouTube channel. Just the same way we just sent the light out to the world, just put it on your social media. Let the technology take it out to the world, and let your love and your gratitude and desire for the end of chaos, as you send it out there on this social media, let it reach the hearts and souls of those who are ready today. And because it'll be out there, those who are ready tomorrow will find it, and the next day, and the next day, till we reach the critical mass. And then everybody will only be looking for how to pay back their spiritual debts. And all the darkness and the opponent will be defeated once and for all. God bless. See you next week.
Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, subscribe to this channel that you'll be notified when we post new videos. Share the video with your friends, they can also benefit. And check out the website, www.kabbalah.com, that's Kabbalah, for hundreds of articles and classes. Wish you an amazing day, and God bless.